Hey you guys, on today's show, looks like the QAnon people were right all along. Let's discuss it today on the Angela Box Show.
Hello, my name is Angela Box.
Show your fucking money.
You guys, I already filmed this video once and it was 37 minutes long. And I'm not even kidding. And I was like, I've got to try and get this into a bite-sized episode here. So let me just jump right in. Okay. Last week, Bill Maher made some news because he let it be known. He went on Stephen A. Smith's show and they were talking about the Epstein files and stuff and the revelations that are coming out and the fact that it turns out that we are run by a bunch of elite satanic pedophiles. Like, who would have thought? It's like, well, I can tell you who thought is those of us who've been paying attention to the Q board for all of these many years, and we're called crackpots and crazy people because of it. And Bill Maher said, we kind of owe them an apology. Roll that clip.
Files and 3 million pages being released. And, now we are hearing that Bill and Hillary Clinton have both agreed to testify in the House ahead of the contempt of Congress vote. What are your thoughts about that?
Well, I mean, this is certainly something we were talking in my meeting today about what I'm going to talk about on the show Friday, because it's
Right.
just too interesting. And also, I can't believe I'm saying this, but where does QAnon go for the apology? I mean, QAnon, which believed in lots of really ridiculous things, like, Democrats eat babies.
Yeah.
But they were kind of harping a lot on the idea that the elites are running this pedophile ring. And I mean, I made jokes about them. I also made jokes after the Epstein thing happened originally that were on the idea of, well, obviously there was some smoke there. Well, now with all that's come out in the last couple of weeks, there's a little more than smoke. It does look like anybody who was at all able to get in touch with Jeffrey Epstein, he was the man.
We're doing it.
They just, yeah. I mean, and then they all lied about it. Everybody has, and the arrogance also of thinking they could just use their real name in an email, which they did, and didn't try to
Wow.
couch it in, when I used to get pot before it was legal, it was like, I'd like 2 shirts, please, and no seeds in the shirts this time. You had to sort of codify it. No, they're just openly talking in emails about this sort of, sexual perversion, and that they were all doing, and lots of people who you didn't think, or I never imagined were doing it. I see these names come up. So, I mean, QAnon, yes, a lot of crazy there, but you know what?
Okay, so if you'll remember the whole Q controversy, people, this had been around since 2017. It's an intelligence board. Some people think it's total bullshit. I happen to think it's real because there's a lot of proofs now that have come out that have been like, this is not coincidence, okay? In fact, a really good account to follow, if you're not super familiar with all this, is Mr. Truthbomb on X. I'm going to put his screenshot up here because I went down the rabbit hole with his videos. Very, very, very well researched. Very, lots of receipts, you guys. There's just a lot. And essentially, what we come to find out, the Q board was telling us all these things, okay? The DNC emails intersected with the Epstein files, okay? And a lot of things are now coming out when it comes to pedophiles and child touchers and human trafficking and torture and satanic rituals, all kinds of really dark things, okay? But first, before we get in there, I mean, speaking of dark forces, look what they did in the Olympics opening ceremony. What the actual F is this? What in Moloch's butthole is this? And speaking of Moloch, Hillary's favorite boo, as Satan's muse's favorite demon, Moloch. I don't even know, is Moloch a god in the satanic religion, or is it like a demon? I don't even know, whatever. They pray to Moloch. It's great. They're just lovely people. So if y'all remember this email that Hillary Clinton, this came out in the DNC dump. I mean, this is a crazy email, okay, you guys? Like, I just want you to imagine you're writing an email to someone, and this is on either Hillary Clinton's secret server. It had to be on her secret server because she wouldn't have put this on an actual email, but it was on the DNC dump, okay? And she writes this to somebody, okay? She writes, again, this story, ask yourself, like, what? Okay, with fingers crossed, the old rabbit's foot out of the box in the attic, I will be sacrificing a chicken in the backyard of Moloch. So, that's strange, okay? That doesn't have any, that's not something you would say normally, even as a joke. Like, who would even know about that reference? That's what I'm saying. It's like, you wouldn't even know about that unless you actually did that shit, okay? So, I think they do that shit. And I think they do that shit, and it's in the Q drops, and it's in these emails, and it's in the WikiLeaks dump, and it's on the Wiener laptop, a laptop that was so horrific that per Sidney Powell's reporting, she was told that veteran NYPD detectives were so horrified on what was on that laptop, they had to go throw up.
Yeah, I have a heart such that after watching this, I couldn't stop crying for about 3 hours. It was so horrific. And I couldn't sleep for almost a week. Still don't sleep well sometimes due to this. And so I'll go into this, but I want people to know it's very disturbing what I saw. There's 2 different frazzle drip videos that I saw, both simultaneously back to back. And this is what was on Wiener Weinstein's. I think of him as a wiener. He's just a male member that has no compassion or heart or morality at all. He's just a wiener. And so it was on his laptop, and the policemen that saw it were throwing up and retching and crying, and a lot of them just couldn't live with it.
Okay, I mean, there's lots and lots and lots of rabbit holes you can go down. But I want to kind of, I want to remind everybody, there is a video that after the Epstein files dropped, or the new 3 million files dropped, which the Democrats now, they're still trying to tie Trump to this. And it's so dumb because, I mean, I know that their followers are retarded. Like, I think functionally retarded. Like, a lot of them 100% are. But it's like, do they not understand the logic? Their logic is way off here. Because if Trump was involved in this at all, they would have said something in 2015. Joe Biden, in 4 years, didn't release one single Epstein files. And now we understand why all these Democrats are jumping on Senator Neepad's train to give her money. Because why? Oh, she was going to release the Epstein files. Let's let Elon explain that to Tucker. Roll that clip.
When are we going to see that list, do you think?
I don't know. It's mind-blowing that they've not tried to prosecute even one. Not even the worst offender on the Epstein client list. They've not even tried to prosecute even one. That's insane.
Well, because they have a lot of diabetic grandmothers who were outside the Capitol on January 6th. They're kind of occupied.
Yeah, they've put like whatever 500 or 600 January 6th protesters in prison, and not one person on the Epstein client list.
Will that ever come out, do you think?
You know, I think part of why Kamala's getting so much support is that if Trump wins, that Epstein client list is going to become public.
Yes.
And some of those billionaires behind Kamala are terrified of that outcome.
Yeah. Do you think Reid Hoffman's uncomfortable?
Yes.
Yeah.
And Gates.
And Gates.
Yeah.
And I only ask that because you just look at them and you're like, that's a nervous person right there. I don't know. I mean, I assume you know them. Yeah.
Yes. Reid Hoffman was my vice president of business development at PayPal.
Yeah.
24 years ago.
Does he seem nervous to you?
Yeah, I mean, he's terrified of a Trump victory.
Because of the disclosure that would follow?
I think he's certainly ideologically not aligned with Trump anyway, but I think he is concerned about the Epstein situation. like something might actually, the DOJ might actually move forward.
There are a lot of videos, apparently. Those rooms on the island, and I think out in New Mexico, were wired for video.
Right.
And
where's the video? I mean, between Diddy and Epstein, it's good. There's probably several thousand hours of footage here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird that the people on those videos are lecturing the rest of us about our moral failings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird.
What is that?
Well, I mean, part of how they deflect attention from themselves is by, criticizing the morals of others.
Yes.
So it's sort of like a preemptive moral strike.
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I think those who are saying Trump is a threat to democracy are themselves actually the threat to democracy.
It feels like we're getting to a place where the rest of us know too much.
So yeah, obviously, these people are real stupid. But remember what Bradley Edwards said in, I think it was 2007, a long, long time ago. He said Trump was the only one that helped me at all. Tracking down these people who are doing these dark, disgusting things and trafficking women and children. Roll that clip.
The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009.
After all this came out last week, and the Democrats are trying to run away from it at the same time, trying to tie Trump to it, whatever. Remember this old video? You probably don't remember this old video, but people were finding this old video that came out in 2019. So a Mexican model, a woman named Gabriela Rico Jimenez, made statements alleging extreme abuse connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so here's what the expo said, and I'm gonna play the video for you, but it is in Spanish, so unless you're able to read or understand Spanish, it might be hard to read if you're just listening. It's opening. It's taking forever. Okay. They ate human flesh. Newly released Epstein-related documents show that some elements she referenced were already known to investigators, though they stopped short of substantiating her most extreme claims. Jimenez vanished shortly after making the statements, and there is no public record of a follow-up investigation explaining her disappearance. Roll the clip of what she is saying.
The mysterious case of Gabriela Rico Jimenez is one of the most chilling and unresolved stories to emerge from Mexico's modeling and elite party scenes. In 2009, Gabriela, a young model from Chihuahua, was seen attending a high-profile party in Monterrey allegedly connected to the prestigious elite model agency. This wasn't just any party, it was said to be an exclusive gathering filled with powerful businessmen, politicians, and possibly members of organized crime. What happened that night has sparked endless speculation and conspiracy theories ever since.
¡Comieron humanos! ¡Asquerosidad! ¡Comieron humanos! Yo no estaba enterada de nada. Que había, de los asesinatos sí, pero que habían comido humanos. ¡Humanos! ¡Fuera la carne humana!
A few days after the party, Gabriela appeared in a shocking and now infamous video filmed outside a hotel in Monterrey. In the footage, she's seen barefoot, distressed, and rambling incoherently about global elites, satanic rituals, and human sacrifices. She claimed that world leaders, including former U.S. President George W. Bush, were involved in secret ceremonies and spoke of eating children. Her words were disjointed but carried a sense of frantic urgency, as if she had witnessed something deeply disturbing. Police eventually took her away, dismissing it as a mental breakdown. But here's where the story takes a darker turn. Gabriela Rico Jimenez was never seen again after that incident. There were no official follow-ups, no hospital records released, and no confirmation of her whereabouts. Her family remained silent, and authorities offered no clarity. It was as if she vanished off the face of the earth.
Okay, and here's what the email was saying. Let's see if I can read this. It's very small, but okay. This is crazy. Okay? This is crazy. And this involves the Bush family too, okay? Here's what it said. I'd like to add a few other points disclosed by the purported victim. And this is to SSA, the special agent in charge of FBI New York, okay? While on this yacht, he witnessed African American males having sex with white blonde females, all of whom were bleeding during intercourse. He was a victim of a type of ritualistic sacrifice in which his feet were cut with a scimitar but left no scarring. On the yacht, he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from those intestines. He was also raped by George Bush I. Victim disclosed he was escorted to the FBI building by Michael Moore, who is the creator of True Pundit, described by multiple online sources as a conspiracy-driven news website that attempts to paint the FBI in a bad light. Moore has a criminal record as a result of an FBI investigation. Copyright infringement, BFD, okay? I'm sorry. I believe this guy, okay? So when, the FBI, and then the FBI, the guy he was writing to, responded, and he goes, thanks, redacted. I didn't realize Bush raped him too. Okay. So I don't know if they thought this was, stupid or crazy or whatever. They probably just, they were like, let me just report this because this crazy person came in and said all these things. But it now looks to be that it is all true, ladies and gentlemen. Let me continue. There's a lot here. Okay, so speaking of intersectionality, remember this, beauty? Trump, when QAnon, and there's Q and then there's the Anons, with the media called it QAnon, okay? The intelligence board that was dropping lots of little breadcrumbs. A lot of people who are much smarter than me were able to connect and being like, okay, this is what this means. This is how it happened. And I should say one of the things I love about Mr. Truth Bomb is that he has 2 videos. I think there are videos 2 and 3 of QAnon, and it's basically like Q proofs. So there's 50 of them that he's found that basically it's like, yeah, this is real. Okay. There's too many coincidences here to it's not a coincidence. Anyway, the point is this. People for a long time were like, someone asked Trump about Q, ask him about Q. Well, finally someone did at the White House. And the question was asked him, like, Mr. President, these crazy people are saying that you're the leader of this effort to take down this elite group of satanic pedophiles that are running the world. What do you have to say about that? And he was like, well, is that a bad thing? Roll that clip.
Just real quick, at the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Is that supposed to be a bad thing?
I want to be with you everywhere.
I mean, y'all, they didn't know what to do with themselves, okay, when he said that. And then, speaking of intersectionality, Savannah Guthrie, which, my God, I really hope they find that lady soon. And, it is quite the juxtaposition with the right and the left, because I guarantee you, if there was a famous person in the media on the right whose mother was kidnapped, I dare say the left would be celebrating that. I mean, look at exhibits A through Z, okay? Charlie Kirk to President Trump. I mean, and everyone in between. We know this is who they are. It's not who we are, but it's who they are. But let's hope they find her very soon. And let's hope that we find out who did this very soon. The reason I'm bringing up Savannah Guthrie is because during the 2020 election, President Trump sat down with her for a interview, and of course everyone in the background is wearing masks, and it just gives me such PTSD to see these useful idiots, whatever. But Savannah Guthrie asked him about QAnon, and he's like, are we really wasting time talking about this? But okay, we'll talk about it. Roll that clip.
It is this theory that Democrats are a satanic pedophile ring and that you are the savior of that. Now, can you just once and for all state that that is completely not true
So,
and that disavow QAnon in its entirety?
I know nothing about QAnon.
I just told you.
I know very little. You told me, but what you tell me doesn't necessarily make it fact. I hate to say that. I know nothing about it. I do know they are very much against pedophilia. They fight it very hard, but I know nothing about it.
They believe it is a satanic cult run by the deep
study
state.
the subject. I'll tell you what I do know about. I know about Antifa, and I know about the radical left, and I know how violent they are and how vicious they are, and I know how they're burning down cities run by Democrats, not run by Republicans.
Republican Senator Ben Sass said, quote, QAnon is nuts, and real leaders call conspiracy theories conspiracy theories.
He may be
Why not
right.
just say it's
Can I be
crazy and
honest?
not true?
He may be right. I just don't know about QAnon.
You do know.
I don't know. No, I don't know. I don't know.
Let me
tell
ask
me
you
all
another
about
thing.
it. Let's waste a whole show. You start off with white supremacy. I denounce it. You start off with something else. Let's go. Keep asking me these questions.
I do have one more in this vein.
Let me just tell you, what I do hear about it is they are very strongly against pedophilia. And I agree with that. I mean, I do agree with that, and I agree
but
with
there's
it
not
very
a
strongly.
satanic pedophile
I have
cult
no
they run
idea.
by.
I know
You
nothing
don't
about
know that? Okay.
No, I don't know
you
that.
Just
and
this
neither
week.
do you know that.
Okay, just this week you
why
retweeted.
aren't you asking me about Antifa? Why aren't you asking me about the radical left?
Because you're
why aren't
volunteering
you
it.
asking Joe Biden questions about why doesn't he condemn Antifa? Why does he say it doesn't exist?
Because you're here
Antifa,
before me.
No, excuse, that's so cute. Antifa exists. They're vicious, they're violent, they kill people, and they're burning down our cities. And they happen to be radical left.
So I guess my point is that, this has been in the zeitgeist for quite a while, okay? Hillary Clinton, as I mentioned, had a weird email about sacrificing a chicken to Moloch. In the WikiLeaks DNC emails, obviously we know about the Podesta emails that have all these really strange code words like pizza and hot dog and walnut and sauce and handkerchief, which are FBI code words, child pedophilia code words. Like, they're just all over the Podesta emails, and they're involving all manner of people, okay? And then, of course, the same types of terms are also found in the Epstein files. So it just makes people start to go, that's very strange. Now, here's one, okay? Let's see. Oh, here's one, and I'm going to kind of go back and forth from doing WikiLeaks, and then the DNC, and then Epstein too, okay? And let me just stipulate this from the outset. So many of these references was already in the cue board, you guys. Like, for real, it was. Okay, so here's one about Prince Andrew. Back in the 90s, Ghislaine Maxwell recruited a girl for a modeling career. Instead of modeling, she was sold as a slave for sex and torture. Prince Andrew was an accessory to her death as he tortured her and me to force her murder. Not good. Not good. I'm actually surprised that Prince Andrew is still walking among us, if you catch my drift. I don't think he's long for this earth. I think he's going to probably take the easy way out sooner rather than later. Probably Sarah will too, who knows. But here's something weird that people had found. This is a file that Jeffrey Epstein had a bank, with Wachovia Bank, a bank account. And the name on the account is what people are scratching their heads over. And you can see it right here. It's the name that he gave it is Baal, B-A-A-L. Now, who is Baal? Baal is the golden calf god that people worshipped instead of worshiping the Lord in the Bible. And I guess that's one of their satanic little things that they worship. Very strange. Here's something else in the files. Chris Tucker, Bill Clinton, Kevin Spacey flying with Epstein to Africa under the guise of a humanitarian trip, which never forget that Jeffrey Epstein was one of the founders of the Clinton Foundation, and a guise of a humanitarian trip, and they were going to recruit girls. And I mean, y'all, there's so much. This, I think, is from the DNC dump. And this is from 2007. And this is another one of those ones that's like, what does this mean, you guys? This is too strange. The subject is head count for pizza. Okay? Okay, here it is. Who all is in the Austin office today and who is going to want pizza? We only have one slice and we need to know how thinly to slice it. What? That's not about a pizza party, ladies and gentlemen. You don't slice a piece of pizza, 20 ways. That has to do with a little girl. Okay? Here's another one from the Epstein files to Jeffrey Epstein. I give you permission to kill him. He is apparently with redacted. He lied to you and he lied to me. By the way, why are all these damn names redacted? Okay? We need to be able to see who these people are communicating with. Who is Jeffrey Epstein communicating with? How come we can see some names but not other names? Anyway, here's one to someone from Jeffrey Epstein to someone else. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. What? Torture video? What? I mean, there's a lot here. And here's a very, very infamous one, okay? This is the Obama White House hot dog party, okay? Here is the headline or the subject line, and this was written in 2009. It's to a guy named Don Kuykendall. Subject, and it's from a guy named Fred Burton. Get ready for, quote, Chicago Hot Dog Friday. Okay. And here's what it says. I think Obama spent about $65,000 of the taxpayer money flying in pizza/dogs from Chicago for a private party at the White House not long ago. Assume we're using the same channels? Y'all, the White House has a fully functioning kitchen that is open 24 hours a day to make you whatever you would ever so desire. And that includes guests that you might have. So what the hell is this? Was Obama for America funding that? It's starting to look that way. I could go on and on and on. And there's so much. And there's so many people that are mentioned in these files. And there's references to Bill Gates planning a pandemic in 2017, which Q also references. Like, it's just, y'all, there's too much now to say it's anything other than legit, okay? And yeah, the dates might be wrong, and they may drop some misinformation crumbs to throw off the black hats, but there is too much on this board that correlates with what we are seeing now in the DNC dumps first and now the Epstein files, okay? Now, here's something else that's rather interesting, and I have two more things here, okay? This Hillary Clinton connection to perhaps Jeffrey Epstein's death, which of course none of us think he killed himself. There's too many weird things. Like all that videotape, there's a whoops, happened to not be recorded, whatever. Well, when the media was able to get pictures of Jeffrey Epstein on the stretcher, okay, people are starting to put this together and they're like, that doesn't really look like Jeffrey Epstein. And as you can see from this picture here, this actually looks like Hillary Clinton's dead brother, Tony Rodham, who died 2 months before Jeffrey Epstein. And to me, that person looks like he's not freshly dead, if you know what I'm saying. And if you look at the nose as they outline here, you can tell that is not the same nose. And the picture of Tony Rodham on the top and Jeffrey Epstein on the bottom, who does that corpse look like, ladies and gentlemen? Because I submit to you, it doesn't look like Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, now, Alex Jones also thinks this might have something to it. Roll the clip of him talking to Benny Johnson going, I'm not saying he's not dead, but at the same time, I wouldn't be surprised if he wasn't. Roll the clip.
Some of the most horrible comments and stories and emails about rape and torture and murder exist inside of these documents, some of the most powerful people on earth. And you're really left to wonder, like, what really did happen to Jeffrey Epstein in that jail cell. And there's one very interesting series of DOJ documents that show the investigation and charging of one of the lieutenants that was working at the prison the night that Jeffrey Epstein died. And he said that Jeffrey Epstein was wheeled out in a medical wheelchair, and that he was handcuffed to the wheelchair, taken to a transfer van, and nobody ever saw Jeffrey Epstein again. And he thinks they switched him. What do you think about that, Alex?
I think there's a very good chance Epstein's still alive. I mean, I don't know, but we're being completely lied to. Yeah, witness protection type stuff. He was a major CIA spy working directly for Bill Maher and his father. I mean, Bill Maher was a young man running Iran-Contra and then Attorney General twice. And we now know from documents that came out that he was with Fannie Willis in Georgia getting the indictments ready before the election in 2024. So, yeah, no, I mean, I'm not saying Epstein's still alive, but I wouldn't be surprised. I don't believe any of this. And it's because Epstein, and people say, oh, you're covering for Israel. No, I go where the truth is. More than anything, he was CIA. And now you have the King Charles's brother now has been detained by the police. He'll be brought in for police custody. I mean, the rats are leaving the sinking ship right now. I mean, this is historic. It's very, very dangerous. And I'm not saying we're out of the woods yet, but for God's sakes, Trump saying 3 days ago or 2 days ago, oh, I'm exonerated. Oh, yeah, because they lied to him and said, sir, there's a bunch of lies about you. And plus we can't prove it. So he's like, okay, you know what? No, Trump, this is your victory. This is your Excalibur, but you've got to execute it. And it's yours to lose. Just cry havoc, let loose the dogs of war, to quote Shakespeare. Now is the time that people want truth. We need the truth. It's already devastating. It's not going away. I mean, Epstein went from being a 10, like a Spinal Tap, to an 11 to 100. I mean, it is now just, this is never stopping. It's never going away. And it's emblematic of the collapse of the old power structure where we are right now. So lead, follow, get out of the way. Trump's already the leader. He's totally innocent. Just come out and lead us on a crusade against the satanic pedophiles, the Islamicists, the leftists, the communists, the globalists, the EU, the Chi-Coms, and Trump. We will back you 1,000,000,000%. We want action.
So, yes, guys, it is quite the rabbit hole, quite a lot of intersections with the Q board, the DNC emails, and the Jeffrey Epstein release. And finally, a funny little rabbit hole that I don't think anyone saw coming. I certainly didn't. And I don't know if this is real. And frankly, I don't know if this picture is doctored or what, but it's interesting. So someone on Twitter the other day was like, boy, Zohran Mamdani sure stopped talking about the Epstein files real quick when it was released that he was pictured as a child with Jeffrey Epstein standing next to his mother. And it's weird because Jeffrey Epstein was right in back of Zohran Mamdani. And there were some emails that Sarah Ferguson, the former Duchess of York, said to Jeffrey Epstein, congratulations on the birth of your son. What? So Epstein has a secret son? And then there's this picture of Zohran Mamdani's mom purportedly with Jeffrey Epstein, and she's holding him as a baby. And then in these emails, it turns out that they sure do know each other because she's in the emails. It's interesting, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen? It's probably like we'll never get to the bottom if Castro's actually Justin Trudeau's real father or what either, but it is interesting, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? Okay, that's where we're going to leave today's video. Please let me know what you think down below. Like, subscribe, comment, do all the things. And remember, we were right. Us conspiracy theorists, we were right. Conspiracy theorists, 100. The rest of you normies, 0. Remember to keep kicking ass and taking names. And to always let thy will be done. Peace.